Bienvenidos y'all to Master Holiday Ads on a Budget. In this lesson, we are going to be talking about setting up a campaign step by step in Meta Ad Manager. So the first thing you want to do, if you have not created your Business Manager account, I want you to go ahead and do that. Just go to business.facebook.com. And when you set up your Business Manager account, that's going to also give you access to Meta Ad Manager. There is a link directly to Meta Ad Manager right in the text portion of this video in your course. And when you go to Meta Ad Manager, you'll see your full dashboard, and that is where creating an ad begins. If you have any questions, I'm going to put links directly to Meta Ad Manager resources also in the text portion of this video. So basically just below this video in your course. All right, let's do this. Let's assume you are at adsmanager.facebook.com and you have your campaigns page open. That means you will see basically a big table in front of you, and it's going to have a set of folders. On the left, you'll see campaigns. Next to that, you'll see ad sets. And next to that, you'll see ads. And right below campaigns on the far left is a green button that says create with a plus sign. I want you to go ahead and click that. And right here, you're going to see we have different campaign objectives: awareness, traffic, engagement, leads, app promotion, sales. We talked about all of these things in a previous video. You want to know what your objective is before your ad even runs, so that way you choose the right one. Again, awareness is going to be reaching the most people and receiving the most impressions. It's not necessarily the most shares, likes, comments, or sending people to your website. It specifically is reach as many people as possible. That's the objective. Traffic is going to be your kind of pay-per-click campaign. So that's taking people from Facebook to a landing page, your website, wherever you want them to go from point A to point B. That's traffic. Engagement is going to be that like, comment, share function right there. So if you're really wanting to dig into the comments and talk with people and chat, which also furthers your reach and impressions, that's the ad you want to choose as engagement. Now, leads, you can actually create a specific form right in Meta Ad Manager. We'll do that campaign a little later. You'll actually see that set up here. But again, that's for leads, right? Emails. The next one is app promotion. I don't have many people who utilize this one, but it is there if you would like to give it a go. We are not covering app promotion in this particular video because this is a mini course. And then we have sales. Sales is also really cool, but you need to make sure that you have done the work to actually create the right sales ad, which means you want the Meta Pixel installed on your website. You want to make sure that you have the correct events being tracked. If you haven't done the groundwork for that, then a sales ad might not necessarily be right for you. You could just run a traffic ad taking them from Facebook to your website where they're going to make a sale. Sales is also great if you have that integration with your website and you have it connected to, say, a product catalog. Again, the sales function is wonderful, but if you don't have it already set up, it might not be the ad you want to use to kind of quickly get things going. And that is not the kind of thing covered in a mini course because it has a lot of setup for it to be run correctly. Although I will show you how to create a sales ad later on in this particular course video. All right, so for this particular, the first thing we're going to cover a traffic ad. Let's click traffic, click continue. So there's the recommended settings. This is fairly new. You can give it a go if you want, but for this video, we're going to do manual so I can really show you how audiences work, because again, we want you to get the most out of your budget, and one of those things is going to be tailoring your audience. This is going to be a book ad. It includes the media for this is going to be a book trailer that was created. You can see there are different categories. So if you are a special ad category, you want to go ahead and select that. There are lots of limitations. We're not covering that in this video because this is a mini course. I do want you to go ahead and select Campaign Budget Advantage. Select Advantage Campaign Budget. We're not going to do an A/B test in this particular video. Okay, so this is important. Daily and lifetime budget. Don't select daily budget and have $1,000 there if $1,000 is the lifetime of your budget. That's kind of intuitive, right? We're not going to select budget scheduling. We don't need that. Select daily or lifetime, but remember, you need to not go beyond what your actual budget is. Okay, we're going to rename our next ad set. And for this purpose, we are selecting website as our conversion. And we want to maximize for the number of clicks. So we want to get the most people going from Facebook to our website. The next thing we're going to do, even if you did a daily budget like I did for this video, you can select when you want your campaign to end. So for this, I'm going to do December 13th. Oh, sorry, that's a little glitch. If you don't click out of end date right, it doesn't capture your end date like it just didn't for mine. So be careful there. So for this, we have our location is United States, and I want you to select Advantage Audience. In this scenario, we are actually creating a custom audience using interests, demographics, behaviors. And so you can see for this book, it's a children's book. So my target audience are moms, grandparents, parents. And so I'm selecting brands that parents of newborns might be using as they put together like their baby registry, their baby shower registry. Anybody who's kind of searching for these things in those early days of motherhood is going to come across my book. So usually you don't wait till, baby comes to kind of go search for all these things. You're doing it while you're pregnant. So I have a lot of brands chosen here. Anything that a mom might be searching for as she's putting her registry together. You can see also that once you get a few things selected, you will have suggestions. So if you click that suggestions button right there next to browse, it's going to give you a whole lot of more options. And remember, before we ever start our ad, we wanted to have thought about our demo. So where are they? What age are they? What are their interests? What are their behaviors? What are their basic demographics? Demographic info. And all of that will help you put together this custom audience, and it's Advantage Plus. So as you fill this out, Facebook will actually fill in any gaps for you to actually target people who are likely to respond and then click. All right, when you browse, you can see all the different kinds of demographic data that you can choose from. Very specific. You can see even their parents, right? I went ahead and targeted parents of children of a certain age. So up to 12 months, 3 to 5, 1 to 2. People often have children fairly close together, so that's why I chose that. You can even see family relationships there. Oh, probably should have selected motherhood. Mistake. Behaviors. So this is a big one. You'll see purchase behavior. I selected engaged shoppers. This is our ad set where we're actually going to create our ad. So I have my Facebook selected. I have my Instagram selected. If you don't have your Instagram connected, you should absolutely do that. All right, so we have a video ad. I actually upload a thumbnail for the video. Let's see. There she is. I label it the title of my book. My first adventure without mommy. Mommy's going to the hospital to have a baby. Book plug. And then I I have all of this prepped before the link to the book on Amazon. Primary text. This is the text that appears above your ad. You'll see there text above. I have it all ready to go. I always do formatting a little bit while I'm in there, see, because it doesn't ever copy perfectly. And you're actually going to have to do this again. It's kind of annoying with the Advantage ad setup that you have to do this twice, but you just do. I generally have my link in here more than once. That's just how I like to do it, especially if I have longer copy, you want to break it up. I have my headline. My headline actually is not the title of my book. It tried to hit a felt need, which is, you know, help your toddler navigate their first adventure without mom as she welcomes baby number 2. Pretty clear felt need, right? And then the description is actually what appears below your video or image. In this case, it's going to be a video. And the call to action here is shop now. We want them to go to Amazon. You'll see all the different options depending on what you are promoting. Shop now. There we go. All right, I have my book promo there. Ideally, when you're creating a video ad, you're going to want it to be about 15 seconds. In this case, I show you how to upload. That button's there on the far right. In this scenario, I have a 1-minute reel and a longer format video. But again, I would encourage you to create a horizontal, a square, and that kind of reel type video, all about 15 seconds. That will give you the most maximized version of your ad in all places. See, that's a 9:6. My horizontal video did not look good there, so I need to get my reel version of the video. This is important. When you create your ad, again, you're gonna need a square, kind of that horizontal type, rectangle looking video, and then a reel. And 15 seconds is your optimal length. This one is technically a little longer. In this scenario, I kind of checked if my video would look good as a square, and it did, so that's fine. I replaced my horizontal here with my rectangle kind of video because that looks better. You can kind of see I'm playing with it, optimizing. You want all those warnings to go away. This case, that did not look good. Why? Because I should have just gone ahead and done the square version of the video. But instead I was playing with my reel and my longer format horizontal, which was not ideal. Again, the most ideal version for all of this is a 15-second video that's in the reel format, the square format, and that rectangle format. And if you have it right with that 15 seconds, you're going to want to leave on all that Advantage stuff. Now in this case, I also have a product catalog, but it is not related to the book, so I am turning it off. I don't want it to distract from my goal, which is to take people from Facebook to Amazon for the book. You'll see I do have to upload some of my creative again, being the text portion of things. All right, so this is so obnoxious. We're gonna have to re-input our primary text, headline, and description. So same thing, valuable if you have all of this saved ahead of time. I am gonna go ahead and navigate to my doc. Okay, so you can see here that it's coming up with some error messages. You wanna fix all of these. I'm gonna say it again for the millionth time. The best way to avoid all of this, if you do a video, is make sure it's 15 seconds. You have the square version, the reel type version, that vertical, and then that classic rectangle horizontal version. And again, 15 seconds is gonna avoid all of these issues. And then what you kind of do is just input them in the right places. So if you go down a little bit, in feed is probably gonna be that rectangle or that square. Stories and reels is gonna be the vertical. All right, let's go to text here, primary text. I'm gonna fix all this. Here's my headline again, putting it in the headline area. My description again, putting it in the description area. Short and sweet. My call to action is shop more. Sorry, shop now. Shop more. And here's my link. Scroll down. Put my link in the URL part, and the display link is literally what you want it to say, like what it looks like. So, oops, I forgot to put Amazon.com. I don't need a call button. Gotta add that .com. There we go. She is optimizing. You can see those warnings go away, slowly going away. There are still a few. But here you can kind of see what it looks like everywhere. And again, this is why you need to have those 3 different formats I mentioned if you're doing video. Even if you're doing an image, you still need those 3 different formats. And you can easily see where, like, if you have text on an image where it's going to be cut off in certain places, how you'll need to fix that. All of that is easy to do in something like Canva. All right, and then she is ready to publish. So again, you're going to want to make sure that all of your errors are missing. In this one, I have a couple just because I should have had also a square version of the video. That would have been ideal, and it would have been ideal if it weren't a minute, but instead 15 seconds. In this case, that was pretty hard to do a 15-second video for a book promotion and for a trailer. Really tough. But you know what? I should have experimented and done it anyway. Okay, so here is the next part of this is I want you to understand what it's like to create a lookalike audience. So we're doing a traffic ad again. We're going manual mode. And the best way to save money when you're running these holiday ads is going to be either to create audiences based off of your best customers, meaning you're just kind of literally serving ads to your best recurring customers, highest recurring customers, or you're going to serve ads to people who look just like your best customers. So this ad setup is the same as the other. We're doing traffic, we're doing a daily budget, we're doing website, taking them from point A to point B, all the same, because the one difference I want to show you here is the audience. Don't forget that end date in the last one I told you. If you don't click it quite right, it kind of doesn't capture it, and then you potentially could be very screwed budget-wise, so be careful. Audience controls, in this case, United States is fine, but we're going to do Advantage audience and create a lookalike. We have different sources here to choose from. Go ahead and click Custom Audience. We're not doing customer value. That's a whole other thing. You can do your website, your app, your customer list. That's going to be that email list upload. Best if you have at least 100 emails and all that data. Website for this case. And this, again, you're going to need that Pexel installed on your website. We can do up to 180 days. We're going to name this audience our website lookalike, and we're going to do up to 5%. You'll see what that means here in just a second. Okay. We're creating our lookalike audience based off of our website data. And we're going to move the scale to 5%. So these people are going to look very similar to our audience, but it's not so tight that we don't have a good reach. 10% would be much looser. We don't necessarily want to go that far. This is still really healthy. Healthy meaning just like a good amount of reach that's going to keep us in the green. On the far right there, you'll see audience definition. With a lookalike, it's likely not going to show up right away because it just takes time to increase the number associated with your lookalike. It can take up to 3 days, as you'll see right there. Okay, so the same thing, we're doing our basic ad setup here. But that is how you set up a lookalike audience. The rest of the ad setup is the same as the last one. Okay, we're going to do another lookalike audience, but this time it's going to be off of your customer list. The ad is exactly the same, guys. I'm not changing anything else at this point. I just want you to understand your audiences. We did the custom audience, the first one, lookalike based off your website. Again, this is going to be lookalike based off of a customer list. It's ideal if you have at least 100 emails and all the data that Facebook needs. Facebook has a template. Okay, here's our Advantage audience. We're going to go create new right there on the right. We're going to create lookalike audience. We are going to do source, custom audience, and then customer list. When you go here, you'll see you can download that file template, and it's going to show you everything you need to gather to import this file. Has to be a CSV or a text format. I have mine here prepped. At the very bottom, you don't want to forget, if you're like, it's not saying next, it's because you need to do that little checkbox right there to the left of the back button on the bottom right. You'll see here. If you uploaded your list, added your description, in this case, I really don't need one. That's just an example. But if I had a segmented list, I might add that information there, although I'd probably put it right in the name too. All right, check the box, click next. Yes, that's all correct. Yes, that's all correct. Import and create. And I'm gonna go ahead and do 5%. So just a reminder here, if you added this list, you can create a lookalike audience, or you can just leave the list as it is and just target those people on the list. Remember, what's the best way to increase revenue? Upsell to current customers or reach more people just like them. More data, emails you have, this is a very powerful tool to help you save money and get the most out of your ad budget. This is enormous. Often a very huge missed opportunity for existing businesses or anybody who's just been working on collecting email. Again, the rest of the ad is the same. Okay, the next ad type we're going to do is leads. And I'm going to show you how to create a form actually in Facebook. We're not just sending people to a landing page, although you could do that. We are going to create the form right here in Facebook. I'm going to do manual. Creating my campaign name. I label absolutely everything so it's easy to find. Book ad lead gen. For a book ad, I would give away a free chapter, so it's PDF. I'm gonna do my campaign budget advantage on. Again, I name every ad set, every ad, everything. I'm labeled all the way through, so it's easy to search later if I ever need to. In this case, we're not doing website or messenger. We're doing instant forms. It's a form that somebody just fills out. You can see all the different options here, though. There's some really cool ones. But for this case, we're doing forms. We're going to show you how to literally create a form right here. We're going to maximize the number of leads as our performance goal. There's dynamic creative. I don't always turn that on, but you certainly can offer it. In this case, I don't want my catalog connected. It's not relevant. And I set an end date. Even though I have a daily budget, I do set an end date for my campaign. United States is good. And in this case, we're going to use one of our audiences that we've already created. You can see right there, lookalike. I have a bunch of different lookalikes. We're going to do our website lookalike, or let's see. What should we do? See gender, detail targeting. I mean, again, all the suggestions are really the same as the last. Demographics, interests, behaviors. That's so cool, guys. You can get as targeted as you want doing custom audience. Let's go ahead and do all parents. Yeah, we're going to do custom audience with this one. Again, this is for a children's book. Targeting parents with children of a certain age. Behaviors here. Let's check it out. Family relationships. Yes. Shopping, fashion. Nah. Going back to that ability to just, the more you know about your audience, the easier it is to create custom audience like this. Children's books. Random House Children's Book Publishing. Cool. Thank you. Graco. Baby brand. Remember, if they're looking for stuff for their baby shower, that's going to be a brand they look at. Doing our custom baby mama audience. Phillips Advent bottles and stuff. Advent, I never say it right. Bye Bye Baby. Although they're going out of business. All right, next. Name my ad. Okay. Same thing. So in this case, I'm going to do media. You can really make this as creative as you want. So you might have like a graphic with, for instance, this is a free chapter with the book, and then it literally says free chapter. If it's a digital download, you could have, a square graphic with a photo of whatever digital download you're going to offer, and then some text next to it that speaks to the benefit of what they're going to download. You have many options that you can create in Canva, but for any kind of free download type thing that you're using for lead generation, and that's the purpose, right? If you're going to collect an email, you want to give something away so that way you create incentive. So for a book, it's almost always a free chapter. For a service provider, it's some kind of free resource that helps somebody do something, but isn't kind of your full service. That would be promoted potentially at the end of your booklet. In this case, the title and the book cover is very clear. So when I just use that image and put free chapter as the headline, you know exactly what you're going to get. Very simple, very easy. But you can, again, do kind of like an image of a booklet, text next to it with the benefit of whatever you're offering as the free download. And then that could be your image here. So again, in this case, this cover of the book is horizontal. It's a rectangle. It would be more ideal to have a version optimized for stories, right? You can see right there the error message. So again, you're going to want multiple versions of that image. You're going to want the story version, that vertical, the real short version, which is also the same size as the stories, the square, and you're going to want that, rectangle horizontal kind of image. Yeah, we're using this for now, but that's not ideal. I'm going to actually link in this video. I'm going to put a link to some Canva templates you can use. Yeah, you'll see I have that one little error in there in the top right for my creative, and it's because it's not ideal for stories. It's going to use it, the image I provided, but not ideal. And we want to get rid of every single error message and make this as optimized as possible. And the way you do that is by having those 3 graphic formats, whether you're doing video or an image. Headline, free chapter, and then we're just going to do my felt need headline, which is about welcoming baby number 2 and helping with that transition. We have the description, kind of that very quick description of the book, and then I'm going to do download as my call to action. Don't forget making sure that's right. So you'll see there on the right, free chapter, super clear. We're going to go ahead and create a form. Woo, let's do it. All right, so I'm going to name my new form. We want to optimize for more volume. That's what we want, right? The most emails. We're going to click next. You can add a background image if you want, some kind of greeting. Truthfully, I like to make it as concise and quick as possible. Less is more. Okay, so I like their just email and full name. That is enough for me, but you can add more if you want. Like if you're a real estate agent, right, there might be some value in adding some more details there, like the zip code they're in or something else. But remember, less is more. Get them more. You can capture more information after you already have their email and you do follow up. You need some kind of privacy policy on your website if you don't already have one. If you're selling anything online, I mean, you should already have it. You can add a custom disclaimer if you need to. Some people do. And then here, thanks, you're all set. I like to add just there like, hey, use the button below to download your booklet. But you can see here there are additional call to actions. The link for my booklet, you could use a Google Drive link. Mine is right off of my website. But let's say you don't have that kind of capability. You can upload something to, say, Google Drive or Dropbox, but you have to make sure that that link is public. So that way they can access it once they click. That's a huge mistake when kind of doing workarounds like Drive or Dropbox, is you forget that you need to make sure the settings for that particular URL are correct. So my action is they're going to go to the website, they're going to get my chapter and then download. And you can start a conversation on Messenger if you want. In my case, I do not need that, but you certainly have that option, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to go back up. Under the description, I like to say, hey, go use the button below to download your free chapter. All right, and that's how you create a form. You will actually see how to download your leads in Meta Ad Manager. There is a whole section on the leads that are gathered, and you can click through there from Ad Manager as well, from the campaign once it gets going or is over. All right, then it's ready to publish. Our last ad type is that sales ad. Okay, so we're going to click create. We're going to go to sales. We're clicking through. Now again, I have my Pexel installed on my website. For Facebook Meta Ad Manager, I have my product catalog integrated with Ad Manager. All of that has to be done beforehand if you want to get the most out of a sales campaign. Okay, we're going to name our campaign name. I like to keep the campaign, the ad set, and the ad all named the same. The categories there are important if you need them. Right now, I have my pod shop connected. That's my product catalog. I'm going to click Advantage Campaign Budget. I'm going to go ahead and turn that guy on. We have a daily budget here of $100. I might change it. You can change it to like 10 if you wanted to. You can see there my maximum daily and my maximum weekly with the Advantage Campaign Budget turned on, because it's trying to maximize your results. We're not doing an A/B test at the moment. It's kind of outside of a mini course. Although we did talk about how to do it in a previous video. We're maximizing for the number of conversions, in this case, or the number of link clicks. If you do the conversion, you need to make sure that you have events set up. Again, that is, you'll see here my conversion event is purchase. All of that was done beforehand. If you don't have, again, getting this conversion ad for sales set up does require a lot of groundwork, and you may need a web developer or somebody who's very familiar with all of that to help you in advance. Oh, also, once again, be careful with that end date on your ad set, on your budget. If you click incorrectly, just like that, it won't save right. It might be a Mac glitch. We'll see. There you go. All right. In this case, you have two audience types, customers who haven't interacted and those that have. We are doing customers that haven't. If you want to do ones that have, you can see these very cool options. People who have, put something in your cart or but not purchased. There are very, very good things you can do here to maximize your budget. Remember, how do we increase revenue quickly? Sell more to current customers or people who look just like them. In this case, we're going to do people who haven't interacted with our brand. And we are going to do... Okay, so we're picking people who like to shop retail. The catalog that we're promoting in this particular case are people... The catalog that we are promoting in this particular case is apparel. You can see again all the different demographic information here. You can even see operating system type information. Or like there was an example there, early adopters of technology. If you were launching something new, that would have been a great thing to select if you were doing some kind of tech. In this case, the apparel that we're promoting is very targeted and local. So we're selecting some of the universities that are here. Literally the place, Oklahoma City. There's a couple of different cities that this is very specific to. We could even have split this into 2 different ads, but it's promoting the whole catalog, which is both cities. One is in Texas and one is in Oklahoma. Well, they're more like regions, but one is Texas, one is Oklahoma. But the ad will show a mix of the catalog and some of their interests. So this particular product is going to target people who speak Spanish. So we're putting some Latin artists here. But again, we could have done something like, let's say this is a brand new product. If we had an existing email list, it would have been better here. I would save more money, see better conversion if I uploaded an email list of people who've already bought my products that are potentially apparel, potentially targeting this same group of people who speak Spanish in these 2 regions. And then I could market my new product to them, because that's one of the third ways to increase revenue. It meets 2 things. You upsell to a current customer, or you create a new product and then you sell it to a current customer. So that would be hitting 2 major ways to increase revenue. And I could just, create that lookalike audience, upload my email list, hit them, and then create another lookalike audience that is essentially people who look just like those buyers. So that would be a massive way to do that. But in my scenario, I do not have that email list just yet. I'm working on it. I will get it as I get buyers. This is a whole different wholesale and retail part of my business. Just for some background, we are in the 918. We're from the 956. We are marketers, but that's kind of something we say, loving the 918 from the 956. And so we have these Puro 918 shirts and Puro RGV shirts, Rio Grande Valley RGV. Puro 918 is basically like saying so Tulsa. But this includes also like anybody, Spanish teachers in the area, anybody who might be proud to, rep their city, and then the fact that they also speak a second language, which is pretty darn cool. So you can see I chose demographic info, interests, behaviors. Okay, this is important. You'll see that I add the 2 cities, Tulsa. You'll see that I add McAllen. Ah, dropped a pin. Also very cool. I'm going to do McAllen here because that's the other, in the 918, proud to be from the 956. 956 is the Rio Grande Valley, part of McAllen there. But it goes all the way to South Padre, Port Isabel. So I'm going to drop that pin closer to Port Isabel. You can see that part of those bubbles down there extend into Mexico, but that's okay. So many people down there cross over to shop and things and then go back to where they live, like in Reynosa or something like that. I grew up down there, so I'm very familiar with shopping behavior. So in this case, we are choosing a carousel ad and we're going to do multiple products. So that way it's not just one. You can select a single product, but in this case, we're doing multiple. We're hitting 2 cities and we're hitting multiple products. We have our primary text there. We're, proud to be in the 918 from the 956. We have some text generating stuff here that we can use, but it is not perfect, guys. We always have to edit it. Like, we're not meeting your, Latin co-founders here. We're promoting just the products. So that first one needs to be edited. Same with the second. We're not meeting local experts. It's just the product catalog. So it gives you AI options, but you have to fix them. Also, I can tell you as a Hispanic person, nobody says Latinx. We just say Latin. Latinx is kind of it's a very American way of including a more diverse background of Hispanic people, but it is not something actually a phrase used adopted by much of the Latin community. It's more of like people trying to be, not just PC, they're trying to be kind and inclusive, but it's just really not a term used by the Latin community. It's more like people who care about the Latin community might be targeting them, are trying to be use inclusive language, but again, truth is, the Latin community just doesn't really use that language. So we use Latin instead of Latinx. It's the little things, right? When you know your demo, you know stuff like that. Showing you a quick scroll through my landing page here. Okay, I'm going to put our URL there. That's the literal URL, and display link. Remember, that's just what you want people to see what the link is. In this case, I'll use Puro 918. That's actually a redirect redirect URL for me too, so that's fine. We don't need to worry about ISO deep links, Android deep links, or Windows deep links. In this case, I want to click website events because I want it to connect to my Pixel and track that data. All right. Let's see what let's see, then she's ready to publish. Okay, so we covered some really basic ad types that will help you be successful. And here are the big things I want you to remember. Focus on your audience. Remember, we want to do the most with our campaign on a budget. How do we do that? We sell more to current customers. We find people that look just like them. Or we create a new product. That's one of the third ways to increase revenue. And we can help that product be the most successful by selling it to our current customers. How do we do that with Meta Ad Manager? We might upload an email list to our lookalike audiences, so that way we can create redirect ads and actually target those people. So we might go click create a traffic ad, and then in the audience selection, do a custom audience, go to lookalike, upload that email list, go from there. or create that lookalike. So we would just slide that scale right up to 5% if we want people who look very similar to that list. And then we continue on with the rest of the creation of our ad. If we're doing something like video, we want that video to be about 15 seconds long for us to get the fewest errors. We want to get rid of as many errors as possible so we get the most maximized version of our ad. And we need, remember, 3 different sizes. We need that reel or story size. It's that vertical 9x16 type ad format. We need a square, and then we need that regular horizontal rectangle 16x9 type format. And then same, you still need those 3 different versions if you are doing an image. So the reel or story size, the square, or that rectangle horizontal version. And anytime you see that little error in our last step, our last slide, you go input the correct version of that image or video. Reduce all the errors. And then if you use the Advantage like creative text, remember to edit it. Like in my scenario, it said Latinx, but the Latin community doesn't really use Latinx. Mostly American marketers marketing to Hispanic people use Latinx, not Latin to Latin, because the Latin community hasn't really adopted that yet. You gotta know your demo there and edit when AI puts in things that aren't relevant. If you do the Sales Advantage ad, you need to make sure that you have the Metapixel installed on your website. You need to make sure that you have a product catalog created, and you need to make sure that all of those steps are tracking right. So if you want to track the conversion of purchase, you need to make sure that you have the events set up. That is way beyond anything we can do in a mini course. It creates quite a lot of hefty setup. But remember, if you are trying to market products and you don't have the Advantage, you can't really use the full function of that sales ad, you can just create a traffic ad, traffic people from Facebook to your website, to your product page, to an individual product. Here's another really big thing to remember. If you are advertising a single product, send them to that product. If you're doing a carousel with multiple products, make sure that each little carousel ad links to the individual product. You will see that breakdown when you create a carousel of how to do that. Okay, there's so much we could cover here. Meta Ad Manager is an iceberg and we're at the top. If you need help, contact me. I can help you.